Wow. Oh my gosh. Have you been feeling this last total lunar eclipse? It was just a couple days ago. It was really powerful. There's been a lot of um, communication, miscommunication, shaking of things, shifting of things. There's been some discord I've noticed in the relationships and communities and ethers. And there's also been some really beautiful evolution happening. So that's kind of what eclipses do. They bring us to this place of bringing whatever is really our truth forward and helping us to extract the things that are not surrounding our truth, which is really what sovereignty is, which is what we're here discussing. We are talking about the 5 keys to embodying the mindset of a queen. And we have already covered discernment, which is very important. So watch that video if you have not yet. And we have already covered commitment. Okay, so gotta have discernment in order to know what you're wanting to commit to so that you can fully commit. So both of those episodes are really, really powerful and waiting for you if you haven't seen them yet. They're in the thread. So do take a look. This total lunar eclipse that we just had, it was a blood flower moon. Oh my goodness. Like it's kind of like a full moon on steroids. You know how on the full moon, things get a little bit more wild. The ER doctors and nurses always say that there's a lot more activity in the hospitals. There's just a lot more sort of energy when the moon is full. So when we have a total lunar eclipse, like we just had in Gemini, which is the sign, I'm not an astrologer, but I love it. And so I'm giving you a little snippet. Gemini is the sign of communication. So when we have a total lunar eclipse in a sign of thoughts, communication, having a sense of understanding between one another, there is likely to be a lot of misunderstanding because the eclipse sort of shadows all that understanding that would otherwise be there. All that to be said, while tomorrow we have Mars going into retrograde, and Mars is the planet of communication. So Gemini is the sign of communication. Mars is the planet of communication. And soon the planet that helps us communicate smoothly and have easy interactions, easy contracts, easy business deals, easy relationship deals is going to start going backwards tomorrow. And so anytime a planet starts to go retrograde, it's really the days before, 2 or 3 days before. So like right now, today, that we start to feel the retrograde happening. And then it takes a couple days while it goes into that backwards cycle. And so as we travel through today, tomorrow, and the next day, just be really aware that communication might be tricky. And that's really what leads us to today's topic on how to embody the mindset of a queen, which is curiosity. So today we're talking about curiosity. Curiosity is just one of the most valuable things that you could ever really master in this life. You know, we have been feeling a lot of very intense feelings. There's been some possible drama with this eclipse. You know, it's really highlighting what it is that you need to focus on. And so if you can bring curiosity to the forefront of your mind, then you won't get caught up in the drama. Then you will have more opportunity to question what is at play and question your role in it and really start to take responsibility for you know, your part, your words that were spoken, your communication, and just show up in a way that you want to be reflected, show up in a way that you want to be mirrored by the universe, but also by the people in your life. So curiosity, if we think about like an infant, you know, maybe 4 or 5 months old, little baby, and they have this innate curiosity. They don't know what things are yet. They haven't learned, right? So they don't know what a square is. They don't know what the color purple is. They don't know what a cat is. They don't know what dirt is versus what food is. So they just put it all in their mouth. Anywhere from like 0 to 2 years old, there's this very beautiful curiosity that we as adults can really learn from and begin to bring into our awareness and our consciousness and our practice in life. Because we're always practicing something in life, whether we're aware of it or not. We are always in practice with something. So because these infants don't have this, concept or label of what something is, it can be anything. It can be anything they perceive it to be. So, a cat could be like this amazing, phenomenal, fluffy creature that to them might seem like a lion, or a square to them could feel, who knows what it would feel like to them, like a square block. What would that feel like to an infant? They would just be feeling corners and edges and something hard that they would be navigating. What is this? So when we drop into that place of curiosity, we have to drop into letting go of knowing. We have to begin to release our sense of what we know. We have to let go of the labels. And that's really hard to do when you've been learning what things are your whole life and labeling a square and labeling purple your whole life, right? It's a challenge. It's a fun challenge if you look at it that way, to really just get curious, and ask yourself, what else is possible? What else can I create in this situation? How can I move forward in a way that's integral to my truth and also not, harm or hurt someone else? So letting go of what you know, letting go of your concept of right and wrong. And we're in this big duality with the vaccine and the pandemics, and get it and don't get it. There's this is right and that's wrong, and that's right and this is wrong. And there's this big duality going on in the world. And it's nothing new. We've been in duality for a long time, right? But we have the opportunity right now, really big, beautiful opportunity, to really release our concepts and our ideas of what we think is right, what we think is wrong, what we think is good, and what we think is bad. Because that duality is what causes suffering in the world. It's misunderstanding of one another. So when I don't understand someone, there's an incongruence between us, and I can't feel at peace with that person. I might even feel pain with that person. So we want to bring more understanding, more compassion to our lives and our relationships. And one of the best ways to do that is to really release your concepts of what you think is good, what you think is bad, what you think is right, and what you think is wrong. Here's a little way to do that, a little practice that I developed years ago. I was like, how am I going to do this? All day long, I'm thinking, this is good, that's bad, I like this, I don't like that, this is right, that's wrong. Duality, duality, duality. So I put a little rubber band on my wrist, and every time I caught myself having a thought of, I like it or I don't like it, it's good or it's bad, I would snap the rubber band. And I think the first day I probably snapped my wrist about 50 times or more. I have no idea. It was a lot, right? And so you can try that. Give yourself a little rubber band test and see how you're doing in your mindset. See how you're doing with labeling and judging things as good or bad, wrong or right. We really want to take this time to allow our fears, our doubts, our frustrations to take the back seat, and allow curiosity to take the driver's seat. Allow curiosity to take the wheel and be at the forefront of your consciousness so that more possibilities can open up. So much more is possible when you take that curiosity and let it lead the way. So, ask yourself, what's possible in my life right now? What's possible with the situation I'm in? How can I navigate a challenging situation like water. How can I take that path of least resistance? How can I adapt and flow and be fluid and still be in integrity with my truth? It's not about giving up your truth. It's about questioning how you can move through sticky situations or, even just difficult situations, loss of loved ones, loss of partners, loss of, whatever, animals, children, pets, just any kind of loss. Those are just challenging, difficult times. And so ask yourself, how can I navigate through this like water? How can I find that path of least resistance? If you're in an altercation with someone, just ask yourself, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? That's an age-old question. It's a great one. It's a great question. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Like, let's just find that path of least resistance and continue to put our energies into questioning what else is possible. Continue to put our energies where they are going to be well utilized. We waste a lot of chi. We waste a lot of energy misunderstanding ourselves and each other. So dropping into curiosity is a golden way to wear that crown upon your head and to begin to find a new path forward. So it reminds me of, in yoga, there's these there's the yamas and the niyamas, the Yoga Sutras. So if you're a yogi, you know the yamas and the niyamas. And one of the niyamas is Santosha. And Santosha is deep contentment, unshakable joy. And so in order to have that unshakable contentment and joy, you have to be in that strong practice of letting go of what's right and what's wrong, letting go of your perceived concept and judgment and ideas about what you think is right, what you think is wrong, good, bad, black, white. And you also have to release the idea, I'll be happier when, I'd be happier if, I'll be happier when ... I'd be happier if I would have ... You've got to let go of that in order to drop into Santosha, unshakable contentment and joy. And this is a worthy practice because you too could be the happiest person that you know in just a short time. I remember when I first really dove deep into this practice, spiritual practice, and it was challenging at first. It took time, it took effort. And I think, I would say probably in about 3 or 4 months, I was doing pretty good. And then it was just and then it got exponential and it grew and it grew and it grew. And now I can honestly say I'm one of the happiest people I know. I have probably more faith than anyone I know, except for my dad. He might have more faith than me. But, it just feels good to trust, to be in that place of unshakable joy and contentment. So get curious, my friends, ask questions, take a pause long enough to ponder what else is possible. This really is the key to emptiness. In Buddhist practice, they talk about emptiness a lot. And emptiness is the idea that something is not something unless you perceive it that way. So here's some lip gloss, okay? To me, it's lip gloss. What do I do with that? I put it on my lips. But what if I gave this same exact object, purple tube, plastic thing, what if I gave this to my dog? Would my dog see this as lip gloss? Hell no. My dog would see this as a chew toy or something to, tease me with or run away. It's some kind of play thing to my dog. So it depends on who's perceiving. If I'm perceiving, it's one thing. If my dog's perceiving, it's another thing. And that's really what emptiness is. It's your perception is what colors everything. So when you have that automatic knee-jerk reaction perception of right, wrong, good, bad, this is the way, that's not the way, that's going to color your life. That's going to color the way that you see the world. And so that's your choice. You can definitely do that if you choose to, or you can get curious and see what else is possible. So, my friends, that's pretty much what I have for you today on embodying the mindset of the queen. I'm so thrilled to be here with you, talking about this and discovering what is happening in the world right now and how we can navigate it as individuals in a strong and sovereign and devoted to our truth sort of way. Sending you so much love. Namaste.